Nigga, they do it every
Honestly,
week on Love and Hip Hop.
I mean, Bad Girls Club, they be swinging all the fucking time, but
I mean, I don't watch them shows like that. Love and hip hop or none of that. So but I was like, damn, I'm just thrown off at the fact that like they really showing people getting choked like that. Like
I
Nigga in
mean,
Bad
that's
Girls Club, someone almost got stabbed.
mm,
That was
and they fight.
yeah, they
they be
fight.
tripping.
They fight for no reason.
Oh no, there are reasons. It's not for no reason. There are reasons.
I mean, they say
You
they
know
say
what?
all
You
women
watch the show.
secretly hate each other anyway. So
You know what? You watch the show, Wallace, so, father. So I understand. To me, it's always for no fucking reason.
Nah, like
Except,
I remember one season, like they threw all the girls shit in like the pool, and we're talking like $1,000 makeup sets and shit like that. They destroyed all that shit. They put like fucking barbecue sauce and ranch all over their beds and shit. Then when they came back home and saw the shit them other girls did, my nigga, bro, it was so bad the episode almost got cut.
you know what? I'm gonna give you one because what was the one where instead of putting like eye drop cleaner in there, they was trying to put bleach in that girl's contact lens or something like that.
Yeah, it
oh
was
shit,
that. Uh, there was
damn.
another one where a woman
Oh,
called a black girl like the N word. Man, there's a lot of shit.
first of all, yo, the one that put the white girl that tried to put bleach in her eye drop, yo, she got her ass whooped.
Yeah,
It was, I forget her name, but she was a big girl and she like put the paws on him. So that shit is just it was terrible.
I need to binge watch that series again. That's my show.
I could never get into the reality shows like that. Like I've watched a few, but I feel like Love and Hip Hop kind of killed the whole reality TV thing for me.
Well, that's because Love and Hip Hop is horrendously scripted.
Oh, horrendously. There's no reason like two people that don't need to be talking to each other come meet at this one fancy ass restaurant and fuck up everything. So
And they do it for weeks.
for weeks, it's just so it's just like that's why I mean I've always had a problem with that because it makes black people look bad. And
Nigga, for like 4 seasons straight of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Carly Red has been knowing all the tea, and then she always getting her ass whooped over something she said. That shit is scripted.
Uh,
you know what? Yeah, you have a point. And I guess I'll start on this one because I seen the snippet. The one thing I do want to say is this that I don't think nobody should be putting their hands on anyone. I'm pretty sure I done said this before. Like men shouldn't be putting their hands on women. Women shouldn't be putting their hands on men. Men on men. Women on women. Vice versa. I feel like if there's way to talk, I understand like people get angry. You want to fight. If there's ways, I've always said this. There's way to talk it out. To always talk it out. But then I'm always said, sometimes you might have to beat a nigga ass. It's probably the Gemini in me, but some people I've learned that some people are just far from words. So sometimes you might do have to put the pause on them. I've
That's real talk though, right there. Some people are sometimes. But if they ain't getting up in your face, then you don't really have too much for a reason. But strike them for real.
right.
If they get
And
up in your
with that,
face though, then you might have to put a slap down on them because I ain't one to be like, oh, let them hit me first. No, fuck that shit. You get in my space, then fair game.
mm. Oh, okay. So let me ask you this question. How do you feel that there's some men feel like a man shouldn't put their hands on a woman? Period.
Who you asking me?
Yeah, I was asking. Yeah, I was asking you. My bad, Sean. Yeah.
I mean, that depends. There's extremes anybody can cross, in my opinion.
What about you, Dion?
I So we've spoken about this before, and my stance is still the same. Unless your life is in danger, you shouldn't. No guy should be putting their hands on no female, and that's where I'm at with that.
All right, cool. More or less.
Your life
Okay,
be
more or
in
less.
danger.
What'd you say?
When would your life be in danger? Mm-hmm. When she got a
Like,
knife?
Like her
yeah,
having a knife and trying to stab you?
yeah, huh? Y'all remember that story? But anyway,
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Like some people have been to that moment where like a woman has picked up an object and tried to stab somebody and shit, or
Or hit them
somewhere close to that, or hit them.
with something hard.
Yeah,
Or blunt.
that's why. Yeah, that's why I try to stay away from crazy women. Even though I think that's what I attract is crazy women. Crazy women love me for some reason.
Yeah, it's one of those things. One of those things.
It's because you a Gemini.
Probably.
I'm a Sagittarius, but I still be getting them myself. So
I was about to say, Shining Wolf has had, and I've been there. He's had his deal with crazy women too.
shit. I've been attacked by bitches before. I've had a crazy broad. Like I said, this is the one that tried to stab me. I've had stalkers. I've had different forms of crazy.
mm.
keep
But I'm
keep
like,
that keep that shit.
Sean Connery though. There's certain like disrespectful things that you can do to get slapped though. Like spitting on people, for example. Oh, I slap the shit out of you. You do it.
No,
You
see,
do it like this.
see, I have a thing about that. You do know if you spit on someone legally, that's assault, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know that. Yeah, yeah.
So by law, if somebody spits on you and you go upside their head, that's self defense.
They call that like a biological attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, you know how many stories I've read of motherfuckers spitting on people recently with this whole corona outbreak and shit.
Oh no, I ain't heard. But well, I vaguely heard about it.
I've read maybe 4 different stories. I come across one like that at bare minimum a month. Once a month. And mind you, it's still early in August. Sorry, I can't say August without laughing after that shit with Jada. But anyway,
The entanglement. Entanglement.
Happy August, people. Happy August. This is going to be a long month.
Y'all some niggas, I swear to God.
oh shit, I'm
It's
terrible. I
just
know.
we had to bring it out at least once.
Oh my God.
Someone had to say it.
It is
Someone
August.
had to say it. Someone had to say it. Point blank, someone just had to say it.
Okay, all right. But as far as the TV goes, I've said this before. I'm getting sick of some of these. Like I used to. This is coming from a man that used to love reality shows, like the Flavor of Loves, and like even the
Oh
Real
God.
Worlds and the Real Worlds Road Rules Challenge. It's like them type of reality shows and all that other stuff where they like compete for money and all that other stuff. And even Fear Factor. I think Fear Factor was a reality show. I can you can call it that. But I hate seeing this because I don't know. I understand like WeTV is not one of the main cable things, but I don't like the way they was promoting domestic violence on TV. And then like it just I don't want to say it made black people look bad because she's Dominican. I know she calls herself Afro Latina, and Vado is of Caribbean culture, but I it let's just say it looked bad on both ways, especially the way Vado um his tweet to the whole thing was I didn't even hit her. And like her tweet was she was like, I know people think it's scripted, but she's been domestically abused before and she don't like that shit is real to her and all that other stuff. It's just
Wow.
yeah, it's really bad. But if you ever looked at the episode, there's really context to why he choked her because they was having these like they had like three things. They were supposed to wear these wristbands, and there's like three things negative about them that you didn't like, and if they did any of those three things, they will buzz each other, and the shit hurts. So Vada was buzzing her because she was doing one of the three things, and then most people didn't see this unless you watch the show because I think they were trying to make people watch the show. Um, she beamed that nigga with a fucking apple, and
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I gotta, yeah, I gotta go upside your shit. Sorry, no, you're not gonna throw nothing at me and
I
not
know.
catch one.
Look, there was some people, especially women. It was like, dog, you choked off a fucking apple. First of all, y'all
Nigga,
have never
apples
been hit
hurt.
with. Yeah, I was about to say y'all have never been hit with an apple before.
Apples
Y'all must
hurt.
apples fucking hurt. Them shits is solid. I've been hit with an apple before. Them shits hurt.
Facts,
I'm
nigga. You're
sorry.
laughing, but nigga, let me bust you upside the head with an apple and see how you feel afterwards, dog.
I'm sorry. It's like the fact that it's an apple kills me. A fucking piece of fruit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not funny, but it's fun.
Yeah, I get it. It's not funny, but it's funny. And see, look, and the way she threw it at his fucking head, you would have been like, the way he held his composure, I was like, damn, that nigga held his composure until he choked the fuck out of her. But that was just, it's just one of the things. It's like,
Stop
the whole thing
laughing.
is, I get it. No, I get it. It's not funny, but it's funny.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be serious about the conversation and shit, and like I'm laughing because he's laughing. It's not helping. Like,
Yeah, nah, like that's the thing I hate about being raised in the DMV sometimes. We all have fucked up sense of humors. So like whenever you hear some shit like that, it's like a fucking apple, and then you just start dying. It also doesn't help that I'm fucking West African and we're petty as hell.
oh my god,
I don't look. I
I need
can't
an
knock him.
evolve.
Things that you
I
can.
can't. I can't knock him because some shit you done hear some shit that's fucked up, but it's funny.
I'm sorry.
It's like we're not. I don't know. We're not as bad as Chicago because there was a dude in Chicago. He got shot, and his enemies was laughing at him being shot. So I don't. It's just one of those things where it's just like they was laughing at that nigga death and shit. It's just Chicago's a different breed, though. They're a different breed of savages. But this is why like I think we should go back to like at least sitcoms and all that other stuff where like you see good black families and all that other stuff because like hell like they're not perfect. I'm not gonna say like even Moesha has these things where it's just like this like when you like question the writers like what the fuck they getting mad for and all that other stuff. But other than that, it's just you kind of like well at least it's not loving hip hop or at least that's the way I took it as far as that abuse goes both ways because most people don't know if they was watching the show. I've seen snippets of it. Tahiri was berating that boy verbally, saying like he a broke nigga, he's the brokest man he ever been with, and like he ain't got no money, that she got to pay for everything, and she pays all the bills. And like most women don't really understand this. That shit like really weighs in on a man sometimes, especially when you put it in his face like that. Now
Oh
I
no, they
don't.
understand. They
When you put
understand. That's why
one,
they do it.
when you put one in his face.
Like you ever seen them relationships where the women's like the breadwinner and like they throw them being a breadwinner in the male's face and all that other stuff. That's
Yeah,
why
they do
I
that
think
shit on purpose.
say it again.
So they do that shit on purpose.
Yeah, they do.
They
They
know that
really
the
do.
male's role. They know that in society the male's role. In most societies, really, it's not even like an American. People act like it's like a social construct. I like, yeah. Well, if it's a social construct, why is it in like 90% or more societies in the world? But they know that the man's supposed to be the provider in a relationship. So when they're not doing that, they throw it in their face. keep them humble or whatever.
I got something to say about that real quick.
Go, go ahead. Speak your talk.
So I find it very, very ironic that the same people that are talking about, oh, it's the man's responsibility to provide in a relationship, and how if he's not like the breadwinner of the relationship, it's grounds to berate him. A lot of these same women would defend like the LGBT when it comes to societal norms, and like how the effeminate men, they be like, leave them alone. You know where I'm getting with this.
Yeah,
Leave them alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Gender is a social
yeah.
construct. But when it comes to relationships, they're not keeping that same energy because of the notion
yeah.
that the man is supposed to be the provider. But had it been an effeminate man, all of a sudden it's okay because gender is a social construct. So if gender is a social construct, then why is the confines of your relationship does not count to those social constructs that you claim?
Gender and gender. They call it what they call it. Gender performances.
Hmm.
They call it gender performances, and you don't have to.
Hmm.
You don't have to. It's like they don't have to hear. They don't have to hear that their gender performances, but we do.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about house keeping a house. They get mad, but you supposed to provide and protect.
And I feel like men, we don't have a problem with that, but you have to be worthy of it. But
You have to be
but with
consistent.
that, but with that being said, I also understand if like women feel like they have to, not feel like, but like a lot of women, as we know, they deal with a lot of fuck boys, they deal with a lot of fuck shit. So I can understand where the women is also coming from when it comes to like a lot of these niggas that get their head bigged up and think they can just do whatever the fuck ever because they men and that's what they want to do. But if a man is like, but like if you're in a relationship and the man respects you, then you shouldn't be throwing that shit in his face if he's not the breadwinner. Because it's 2020. There's a lot of ways to make money, but there's also a lot of ways for people. But there's also a lot of people like that just ain't got it like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Facts.
So let me ask you this: do you think that men should be the breadwinner of a relationship,
I
even in
me
2020?
me truthfully, if you ask me, I think it depends. I don't think every man is built to be a protector or a provider. And the reason why I say that is because masculinity is not a monolith. You could have there's a spectrum of masculinity, and just because society defines it as, oh, you protect and you provide, some men just aren't built like that. So it just really depends on the relationship. We've seen plenty of relationships where the woman becomes a breadwinner, but there's no issue because the man respects the woman and the woman respects the man. But because we live in this society that says, oh, like especially now that women are trying to, reverse the paradigm. They, you got those women that want to be independent. This is the age of OnlyFans. There's a lot of women that's not taking no bullshit from men. They getting their own money. They getting their own bag, which is fine. But if you're using that as a grounds to berate men who are not on your level in the first place, you're wasting your time. You know what I'm saying? If you're just gonna berate the man for not making as much money as you, then you're no different than the men that you're complaining about. So I don't really
Right.
see, the purpose of you even entertaining that shit in the first place. And Tahiri's only really staying with him because she knows deep down ain't no real man is gonna take that shit from her. You feel me? Not saying that what's the brother's name, Ray?
Vada.
Now, not saying that Vado, is just tolerating it, but it's like you said before, Vado actually really fucks with this woman. So, like the fact that she got him to that point of her choking her. Well, now all of us, obviously, we don't condone that shit, but at the same time, it's like you reap what you sow. If you never would have gotten him to that point or instigated him to that point, then maybe he wouldn't have done it. That's not to excuse it, but that's just how the situation went. You know what I'm saying? So I think that she needs to be held accountable for egging him on in such a manner. And you're gonna have those women that say, "Well, he needs to step up and he needs to make money." He's like, Vado is not broke. Obviously, he has a lot of money. He has more money than a lot of you. So you can't tell him, oh, he needs to make more money. If she's the breadwinner of the relationship, why can't it just be that? Why does it have to be something that you have to hold it over his head in? You know what I'm saying? That makes it just shows me that like Okay. You're not even really with him because you like him. You're just with him because of the power you have over him. And that's manipulative as fuck. Why would you be with somebody that reminds you constantly of your, like shortcomings? Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Hmm.
Anybody else? Same question. Do y'all feel like y'all need to be the breadwinner of your household as a man?
Do I feel like that personally, or do I feel like that's what you need to do to function in society and relationships in society?
You can go with both.
I feel like if you want to function in relationships and society generally, yeah, I do think that's what you need to do because that's what I think that's what most women look for, even if they subscribe to the whole progressive, feminist ideology. I think that most of them, I've witnessed it, that most of them actually do follow that mindset. Now, as far as personally, do I feel like it should be that way? Um, Not really. I feel like it depends.
Hmm.
I feel like as long as the person can support themselves, it's not a burden on your wallet, then it's okay. That's it.
What about you, Dion? What about you, Dion?
See, okay, I've always kind of viewed relationships as being kind of like a partnership. You know what I'm saying? It's it's no, oh, I'm the man, I'm the breadwinner, whatever, whatever, or you gotta do X, Y, Z because you're the woman in a relationship. Type shit. You know, do for me the way I do for you. Regardless of what it might. You
Mm.
know, I don't. It, see, here's the thing. Y'all already know. My girl's pregnant with our second kid, so she can't do certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So I do certain stuff. I cook, and all the other good shit. Sometimes when she's too tired or feeling sick, whatever, whatever, unable to do so. We normally flip back and forth. Who cooks, who cleans, whatever, whatever. But again, her being pregnant, her not being able to do certain stuff, fine, I'll take over. I don't care. But you know the the whole thing of, I guess, gender norms or whatever, what a man should do, what a woman should do, whatever, whatever. That shit's outdated. That shit's way outdated. You know what I'm saying? The world is not how it was, 30, 40, 50, whatever amount of years ago, when men did all the work and this, that, and the third, and the women mostly stayed home and took care of the house. Yeah, back in them eras, you had your working women and shit like that, but they were few and far in between. You know what I'm saying? This isn't that same time frame where, if you want to go back further than that, you know when did women first start taking on actual like manual labor type jobs or whatever? What was that? All the way back toward like World War I?
Too.
Okay.
Well, for black women since slavery. Let's just say that.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They was out.
I wasn't trying to go there with it, but
No, but
you know,
it's true though. Like at least for black people, like they was out there in the fields with us. But go ahead.
my point is, like I said, those old ideologies of the gender norms and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That shit's outdated. I mean, come on, we have all these different we have all these different females, and all these different roles, all these different fields or whatever. It's time for that whole, oh, I gotta be this, that, and the third because I'm the man in the relationship, or as a woman she has to do X, Y, Z. It's time to come up out of that. I
You think?
I mean for God's sakes, we we got women, going to war alongside us now. If that's not a sign that, okay, the gender norms need to go, I don't know what is.
All
Yeah.
right, that's cool. I've
I actually,
like in my house. Go
Huh?
ahead. Go ahead.
I was like, I actually changed my personal answer. I just feel like the roles need to be for example, if you're like a CEO or you're somebody who's running a business or just working a long hours, someone needs to be able to take care of the kids, and someone needs to be working. If someone's working like fucking what 13, 14 hour days, then someone needs to be able to pick up the kids or help the kids with this, that, and the third, make sure they ain't getting into trouble. I don't think it matters too much if it's a man or a woman doing either one of those roles. But for both people to be working hard and gone a majority of the time, that's not functional for a family setting. Not for like you just date, then that's one thing. But family setting, not really. Not if you really think about it and analyze the situation. But that's it.
I know, I know personally, like when growing up, there was times where my mother did make more than my father did, but at the same time, my father was still the man in the house. So I've been in a household where, like, yeah, my mother was the breadwinner at times, but my father was still the man in the house. But even so, like, my father didn't have no bullshit job. My man, he works at Amtrak still to this day, and even if she like quit her job, his job was sufficient enough to he could pay the bills and pay the rent to all that. So
Mhm.
we lived in a house where I can say they was at least equally yoked. Now she doesn't like my mother had government jobs here and there, and where it was making more, but at the same time, my father was still, like I'm saying, the man in the house. So me growing up, I've seen people where the women was just like, um, you know the saying like my money is my money and your money is my money and some shit like that. I've never like I've always like never liked that because it's just like so if he's down and if y'all in a marriage relationship, you're not going to you feel like it's beneath you to like help out the marriage and something like that. And I feel like a lot of women have that selfish. This is why I've always said women are naturally selfish, even if they're in
You
a place where
just you just
yeah.
reminded me of a quote, and this was actually from 21 Savage of all people. A rich woman won't look a broke man's way, but a rich man could take a broke woman and change her life.
Yep, she could work at fucking Starbucks.
Yeah, and I've seen that. Like you've seen that. Like men, we don't really care. Like I said, there's some men we don't really care where you worked at. Like Shiny Will said, she could work at Starbucks. You don't care as long as you good people. And, we vibe and all that other stuff. That's why when people say you need to be equally yoked, I don't think money has anything to do with it. I think it's like where you're more. I think it's more or less a moral things with the equally yoked thing. So
Mhm.
it's like but you got to at least understand one has to at least understand like the importance of what they're doing. So like if she is the breadwinner and like he can like take care of a house, that's really good if they understand like how things work, and if it works well for them, that should be really great. And I feel like a lot of people like they want this hypergamy lifestyle, which is really like not a lifestyle that not a lot of people can really achieve. And I don't
Right.
understand why people want like I don't understand why a lot of people are trying to go for this hypergamy lifestyle. It's really hard to achieve, especially if you want those people that want to date someone like if you're 21, you want to date someone like around your age. they're going to struggle with you. But if you're like 21, you date someone that's like 38 with a good job and then finances, then obviously that's one of the things. But even that's like rare. Them type of them type of marriages don't even like happen that much.
Well,
I've looked at the statistics. Go ahead.
A lot of women do that though. Like, there be motherfuckers in fucking high school dating dudes that's like 25 or 23, and then like when they older, like when they like 20, when a woman is like 25, she be dating dudes that's like 30 something, like close to 40 or 40. That happens a lot. I personally know women that have done that or is doing that now.
I've seen that happen too. Hell, Beyonce and Jay-Z is one thing. And I know some people like don't like
Shit.
looking at it, but I know some people don't like. They kind of iffy on Beyonce and Jay-Z's marriage, but at the same time, he made her into an honest woman, and now they're both damn near billionaires. So, like, he took care of his woman. Like, but
Oh,
that's
ain't
a
no
rare
damn near
thing.
on them billions. They got that money. Ain't no damn near.
Yeah, they got their, like I said, they got their billions. And I'm sorry, I'm about to get back to New Year Super Bowl where the girl said Jay-Z was irrelevant. I'm
Oh
about to,
Lord, yo, Ray, we here.
yeah,
Don't
we
even.
here.
Don't even.
Oh my
Don't even.
god!
Don't even.
But,
Nah,
but
cause we was there. I was there for that. I saw Ray's face. Who? That was a reach. Man, I'm even getting flustered thinking about it.
oh my god, that's just woo. Anyway, I feel like you got to understand what type of situation you're in, and then you got to understand um how your relationship is going to work, and communication is obviously key, comprehension is obviously key, and knowing your strengths and weaknesses, because you you could be like a brain surgeon making like 400K, and he could be like a manager and all that other stuff. If he knows that he can do better and you could like push him to do better, you should be doing that. But it's just that for some men they takes time, and then sometimes you don't get until like your 30s. So that's really most I gotta say about that. Anything else before we move on to our next topic?
One thing I want to say is that if you're dating someone, I don't think economics should be. It shouldn't be about how much money the person has. It's about how they manage their money first and foremost. Because if you get a nigga that got is worth $100,000, but that nigga stays steady blowing it up on stupid shit like watches and cars and shit like that, by that, you know, that money ain't gonna last forever. You know what I'm saying? So if he go bankrupt and he don't have it no more, you know he can't build it back because he just gonna spend that shit again. But if
But
you
then
get
you
a
got a
nigga,
broke nigga who's smart with the money, and y'all are living like kings off of pocket change.
I mean, yeah, there's that too, but it depends on what type of person it is. Like, I feel like people that's really trying to look for somebody that is like at least on a financial level, you gotta be with somebody that knows how to manage money. Like, even if I got like $100 in my fucking bank account right now, and my girl got like 5K in her bank account, if I know how to manage money, I can flip that 5K into like 15K. You feel me? But I only got $100. But that just means that maybe I just haven't had the same opportunities as you. So I'm probably not going to make that much money just because I never really personally had the experiences that you had or the opportunities that you had. And it also
Right,
doesn't
right.
necessarily relate to laziness too, because I know a lot of people that work very hard, but they live in paycheck to paycheck. As you know, there's people with master degrees out there, they can't even find work. So it's not that people out here just lazy, they just haven't had their like big opportunity. Some people are blessed to have theirs very early, some are blessed to have it at all. So if you have somebody that like, okay, maybe he don't make as much money as me, but I know this person works hard, and I know this person also knows how to manage money, that doesn't necessarily equate to them not, being able to provide. They just need that opportunity. And if you have the money to, give them that opportunity, you can give that to them, but just be sure that you can answer the question that, okay, if I help this person out, they're gonna help me as well. It has to be reciprocal. That's just how I feel.
Right.
Well said. Anyone else? Yep.
Mm-mm.
All right, cool. So, all right, let's speaking of Beyonce, let's talk about her dropping Black is King. Now, I haven't seen Black is King, but I've seen a lot of people give it praise, and that's I feel, and me personally, even though I haven't seen it yet, I've seen some of the snippets. I even give her kudos for what she done. She started from in her backyard to going into Africa, especially like Western Africa, places like Ghana and Nigeria, and going to South Africa and all that stuff. And working with African artists and all that stuff. But there's always people that's just in the negative. One of them is No Name, and the other is, some of these Christian people that's calling her the devil. So the thing with No Name, and I had a problem with, is like she seemed like a negative Nancy with her tweet. Was basically saying poor black folks all over the country are putting their bodies on the line, and oh shoot, never mind. That's not the I thought that. Well, until I look for the tweet, what do y'all think about the Christians coming after Beyonce talking about she was doing some Satan work? Father?
Didn't say nothing.
Uh, I mean, like, that's not true. There's nothing devilish about African spiritual systems. As a matter of fact, African spiritual systems have been the gateway for Christianity and Islam in the first place when you do your research. The resurrection story about Jesus Christ, that came from Africa. It was called Isis, Osiris, and I keep forgetting the third one. What's his name? Isis, Osiris, and was it Horus?
I think it's Horus.
Yeah, the resurrection story came from that. So, like, I don't know, people just don't do their research. And the funny thing is that the Christians that you were mentioning, a lot of them were black. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them that was talking that shit was black. And we've had a lot of conversations about how religion has plagued the black community. Not because of the religion itself, but because of the institutions and the morals that it kind of, gave to black people, like be passive, you respect your slave master, and love everybody, turn the other cheek whenever injustice is done to you, that type shit. And we saw that very clear in the Botham John case, where his brother, for some reason, was hugging that murderer and talking about I forgives you, and we're sitting here and we're like, no, that's not the fucking answer. This woman killed your brother, and you're sitting here forgiving her because it's the Christian thing to do. That's evil to me, because now you just set a precedent to where it could happen again, and somebody could transgress you again. And white people have been doing that for 400 years straight without fail. So what kind of precedent are you setting? And I feel like they even try to do that shit. The evangelicals even try to do that shit with Haitians. They was trying to say that Haiti, the Haitian slaves, they prayed to a demonic god, and that's how they were able to get their independence, because they made a deal with the devil. But in actuality, they were actually practicing a Nigerian-based spiritual practice, and what they did was they empowered themselves to where if they are going to die, they are going to die for their freedom. And that's exactly how Haiti was able to beat both the British and the French. And I think the Portuguese was a part of that too. But I gotta double check that. But that's how they were able to free themselves, using an African spiritual system. So I just find it funny how those very same people that are talking shit about what Beyonce is trying to find the beauty in, I just find it very funny that it came from Christians.
Well, Christians always, like not just Christians, but people who are religious. A lot of times especially the Judeo religions, they believe that their religion is pretty much the only way, and the only religion is the definitive religion. So anything else is irrelevant for them. So they see anything where horns look kind of goatish and Illuminati-ish, they're gonna believe that it's Satan regardless, because that's what they believe.
Which is very interesting, because if you read the Old Testament, they were doing blood sacrifices for the same God that they were worshiping.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think nobody really reads the Bible. I've been saying this. Shiny Wolf, you heard me say this. I don't think no one knows the Bible more than an atheist. So that's always been my thing. I said no one knows the Bible more than an atheist, because I feel like the atheists always when like anytime they retort a Christian and sometimes what they do, like they will get sources from the Bible and then put it in them, and then a lot of most of these so-called Christians try to like, well, no, that's not what it's like when he actually pulls them from the Bible. So I've always said that about that.
Well,
Huh.
yeah, well, I studied the Bible, not necessarily to rebuttal them. I studied it for creative juices, for writing and create, for writing. Yeah.
Right. And I've told myself there's times where I need to learn the Bible more, but I've also like when I don't understand other religions, I don't base it off of my religion either. And that's the one thing I don't like about Christianity because um Shannon Will said, it's just like since you think yours is the top dimension, everything else you think is just like a work of Satan. And
Mhm.
it's really not, especially if you don't want to educate yourself. I've seen other pastors like educate themselves in other people's religions just so you can understand their religions. I've seen pastors like look at the Qurans. I've seen pastors like get in conversations with rabbis and all that other stuff. I feel like you're opening yourself more to understanding. And to me, I've always had this other like theory that like even though I do believe there is a God, I always feel like if you're not going to go through the Bible, no, that's cool. I feel like God always have a way to teach you a lesson that doesn't have to come from the Bible. Like
I
that's why
said the
I
same
tell
thing.
yeah, because a lot of people look at like horoscopes as demonic. I say I don't really think horoscopes is really demonic or none of that. I think it's just another way of God like giving you information. Maybe you don't get it from, maybe you don't want to get it from the Bible. Maybe you get it from a homeless man in the streets that don't even know God's name. He could probably send you that message through there. I've seen like stuff come back to the Bible from things that never really referred to the Bible in the first place. And a lot of like people are like, y'all seen the Water Boy, right? The
Yeah.
mother for the
Mhm.
Water Boy, it's the devil. Like everything is the fucking devil. So I don't like that clouded judgment that just because it's different it's the devil and all that stuff because obviously that's what the Salem witch trials was. It's like anything that was different she was a witch and they had to burn them and all that. So it's a real negative way of thinking, and I always want people just like it won't kill you to learn about the Quran a little bit or like learn about other religions and how they celebrate. Is if anything you should be able to expanded, and then like you could share your beliefs with other people's belief and see how yours compare up to others. Because most of me, I've heard this. I'm not quoting this, but I've heard people say like the Quran and the Bible are like two of the same books. I've heard people
Yeah,
say that before,
they are
and
for the most part.
yeah,
Can
and I
I can I jump in right here and add to that? Now that you said that,
just all
Hmm.
right. Let me just because I found a no name tweet. She said we love African aesthetic draped in capitalism. Hope that we remember that Black folks on the continent whose daily lives are impacted by U.S. imperialism. If we could uplift the imagery, I hope we could uplift those who will never be able to access it. Black liberation is a global struggle, and that's where people dragged her from it because they thought that Beyonce was just progressing off of making money off of African culture or something like that.
Oh, we
Like
dragged that
cultural
ass to
appropriation.
filth.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dion.
all right. See, first of all, okay, since you going back to Beyonce real quick,
Go ahead.
why is it me or does it seem like anything that Beyonce or Jay Z does, there's always some stupid conspiracy theorist somewhere in the world spitting some type of Illuminati BS. No matter
Yeah.
what either one of them do.
Hmm. You're not wrong.
Because yeah, because black people can't fathom other black people being successful. That's what it is.
That's the first part of my problem with
Yeah.
this with this whole situation. You know, and second, since we done dwelled into the subject of religion, see, one of the reasons why I've never okay, I believe in God, but I don't believe in religion. In the words of Eddie Griffin,
Mm.
Agnostic.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I know a lot of
agnostic.
people say
And
that. I've said that too. I believe in God. I'm not. I don't believe in religion either. So we in the same boat.
and the thing is, okay, whatever you believe in, I'm not gonna knock you for it. I'm not going, judge or disrespect you. But at the same time, me personally, as someone who tries to pay attention to what's going on around them, pay attention to things that have happened in the past, throughout history and this, that, and the third, I might miss a important detail here and there, whatever, whatever. But I do try to track the shit and keep certain things in mind. I've seen religion spun to promote bullshit so many fucking times. Think about how religion was used, and this was already mentioned, you know, basically as a catalyst for slavery. Think about how religion is spun to get these terrorists to do the shit that they're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
if you know anything about Islamic culture, they really detest fighting. That's how
That's what you test what
any
now?
form of like act of violence is frowned upon in that culture. For these terrorist organizations to be doing what they're doing, whether it's Al Qaeda or ISIS or whatever, that it's really a form of blasphemy when these terrorists are out here doing what they're doing, and they're throwing they're stumbling over my words. They're using religion to again promote their shit, promote their violence. It's just like no. At its core, religion was really just intended as a way of bringing people together, but because you have all these different forms and all these different names for it, let's if we're being perfectly honest, in my opinion, the same God, that's where the conflicts keep coming from. If you pay attention to really any religion, whether you're a Christian, whether you're Jewish, Islamic, you follow Buddhism, whatever the case may be, at their core, the message is the same, and that's just people coexisting. That's it. But I don't know when, where, and how all of that got lost. But at their core, that's what religion, really any form of religion was really supposed to be about. You know, people coexisting, people coming together.
I
I don't know what happened X amount of, hundreds or thousands or whatever years ago, where all of that got fucked up. But
Inequality.
yeah,
That's what it was. It was inequality that started all of that shit. Cause all right, so the way that I've like approached it, or like the way that I've researched it, was if you have let's say you have a doctrine, and that doctrine it says, for example, I'm gonna say treat others the way you want to be treated, the golden rule, right?
right.
Now, because of that doctrine, people can take it as, oh, okay, I won't do wrong to somebody because I don't want wrong done unto me, right? That's supposed to be like the thing that stops everybody from, transgressing each other and shit like that. But because of our human nature, and because that because I don't care what no one says, everybody's not born equal. That's a fact. No matter how many times you want to do that whole kumbaya shit, there is not one person on this earth that is born equal to anybody. We are all just human beings. We all just have life. You know what I'm saying? But if
Hmm.
I'm if I'm born in Africa, right? And let's say, because like a lot of African societies, a lot of the shit that they had, the earth gave it to them. Food, they don't even have to worry about it because they can just go to the forest and pick up food. You know what I'm saying? If someone got sick, they could just cut this fucking bark off a tree and get some herbs, make it a tea, and then he's cured. You know what I'm saying? But like, let's say someone that's in like the caves of Europe or whatever. They ain't got shit. The earth don't give them no fucking trees to heal themselves with. Everything they had to do, they had to pillage from one another. That's inequality, right? So that same concept of the golden rule isn't really going to apply to Europeans as it does to Africans. And again, this is just an example. So if they came to Africa and then they were like, man, look at all this shit they got, man. They could just cut off the bark of a tree and then heal themselves. Like, we ain't never got that. I want that shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna say, "Oh, treat others the way I want to be treated," because you got something that I want. I had to suffer, and you over here, you're fucking prospering. It's based on narrative. It's based on this notion that, oh, you have something that I want, therefore I'm going to take it from you. Either if it's by force or either if it's diplomatically, I'm gonna find a way to take it from you. Now, obviously, we've had entire civilizations trading with each other, but as you know, that's not really grounds for peace. Because if, for example, if we're trading, but I got something that you really want and I'm not willing to trade it, what are you going to do? You're going to try and take it from me, right? But that concept doesn't really apply with treat others the way you want to be treated, because obviously, if I want something from you, I wouldn't want it to be stolen. I would want, to have that in the most peaceful way possible. But that's not how a lot of other people think. We have different cultures, we have different beliefs, we have different interpretations of the same sayings and shit like that. So when you mix all of that shit together, that's when you get, oh, why can't people just coexist peacefully? Because peace, you know, because like peace in itself is a byproduct of war. If you really think about it, the most peaceful times came about because a war had ended or because a conflict has been resolved. Well, how come there
Right.
it and then people will ask, well, how do we get to a point where there's no conflict in the first place? And I said impossible. The life in itself is always in conflict with death. So because of that, we try to live fulfilling lives and we try to do things that protect our family and make sure our best interests are at heart. And sometimes in order to get that, someone gets in the way of that, unfortunately. So people are going to fight, people are going to have conflicts, and that's just the way of the world. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? I think violence is as a part of human nature as the ability to love people and to be with family and shit like that. Because if you love someone, love is ultimately going to lead to hate. So when people say that, it's just, well, you're not living in reality, because if you want world peace, then having world peace means that in order to maintain that peace, you're going to have to fight to maintain it. That's
Right.
the way it's always been.
That's where the mantra "pray for peace but prepare for war" comes into play.
Yeah.
True shit. True shit. True shit.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as the no thing is like, just don't. Why you have to be that person? Yeah, that's what. There's just like, like you remember them "Don't Be That Guy.com" commercials. It's just like, you
Yeah,
had to be that
I
person.
didn't mean to laugh, but that was so spot on. I couldn't help it.
Like for real though, that's the one thing I took about it. Is actually my first initial reaction was "Ho, sit down," but I ain't want to call the woman a hoe. I don't know her, but it was just like it was like, man, sit your dumb ass down. But I get what she was saying. Like, even though I get what she was saying, it's just like, bro, it's just like, did you not like? It takes a lot to like go to Africa, use a bunch of people. Like, she used her platform to give her version of the Lion King and do all these videos in from the backyard to their country and all that, and just like celebrate their culture and everything they did with it. And all the Africans, or majority of the Africans that watched it, loved it, and most people that in America loved it. So obviously, you had to be that one person that just like you basically like
There's
asked.
always one. There's always somebody though. You can't
Yeah,
help
but
that.
Yeah, you got to be the one that asks for homework when the teacher forgets. It's just like, man, so my like that's what my initial reaction. Yo, go sit your dumb ass down somewhere. Like I don't want to call her dumb. I don't want to call her dumb because she's obviously an intelligent person, but just like yo, take that sad shit somewhere else. It's like every time, like you, it had to be you. Like I expected from you, like even the Christianity thing. I expect that thing somewhere because some of them are willfully ignorant with it, but it was like when it comes to someone that you at least know that you got some common sense, just go sit down somewhere. Just anyway,
Oh my
uh,
god.
and I'm glad. Honestly, I don't feel bad that they dragged her to filth because I feel like you deserve it. Just
Bro,
She, I
we
mean,
went the fuck in. We went in on her because you're not just finna see the number one thing that we didn't like that she said was African aesthetic. And I'm like, bitch, there's over 100, not 100. I mean, there's over 1,000 ethnic groups in Africa alone. What do you mean Africa aesthetic? Don't try to paint us as some monolith. You know what I'm saying?
no.
Like,
Here's why I'm laughing because you pissed off. She single handedly pissed off. I don't know how many groups of people in one fell swoop. First of all, for the Africans who were actually happy to see their culture being represented in whatever manner it was. Mind you, I haven't watched the thing myself, but clearly this is an attempt to present African culture in a positive manner. And it's like anyone from Africa of African descent, whatever. I feel like okay, you can appreciate what Beyonce is doing. So you done expose your head, Miss No Name or whatever you refer to yourself as. I saw the same No Name or whatever your name is, but um, you know what I mean. And then there's the motherfucking beehive. I don't care what anyone says. Beyonce has the craziest fan base on this planet, and Beyonce is just one of those people you don't talk about because you know how hard her fans go for her.
she has her own church.
It's so it's just right. That just further.
she has
I
her
didn't
own
know
damn
that, but you
religion.
further. I didn't know these things, but you just further prove my point. Beyonce is one of those people. Keep her name out your mouth because social media is going to fuck you up. It's just don't do it. Social media is going to rip you a new one.
um, anybody else want to talk on this before we go on to our next topic?
Bill, please choose your words carefully if you're ever going to talk about Africans. Because first, like, if Black Americans are very proud people, and you can't talk shit about Black Americans, where the fuck did you think they get that from?
Nigga, say that louder for the folks in the back.
Where do you think they got that shit from? If you can't talk shit about Jamaican culture, see what the Jamaicans gonna do to you. Talk shit about Haitian culture and see what the fuck they're gonna do to you. All that shit
Nigga,
came
the
from
Jamaicans
somewhere.
and Haitians will be at your door. This is not going to be no social media. They'll be at your door.
They'll be at your fucking door. And where did that shit come from? Where did they inherit that energy from?
The fuck?
I'm just saying.
Exactly. This question is just short. What did y'all thought about that explosion that happened in Beirut?
Oh, man. I've been looking into that. And from what I've been told, now mind you, the information I got may or may not be accurate. So if y'all have seen something that conflicts with what I'm saying, correct me. First of all, the cause of said explosion apparently it was a fireworks factory. It was an accident at a fireworks factory. A bunch of nitrate went off and just blew that factory to hell. That whole port was apparently blown to shit.
Yeah, it was.
So that whole port where that factory or that facility was, where that explosion happened, it was literally blown off the map. It's gone. and this they're talking about the death toll being like 1,000 and some change off of that shit.
Damn.
Again, that was a big ass blast. Do you do you know what nitrate does?
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah,
aware, but damn.
yeah,
Again, this is a
yeah.
big ass fireworks factory with a whole gang of nitrate stored in one of the lower levels of that facility. So I don't know if something caught fire or something wasn't stored properly and it was exposed to an excessive amount of like heat or something, but something triggered that nitrate. Shit exploded. That port is gone, and there's 1,000 some odd people dead because it again that whole port is gone. Not just the factory itself. That entire port surrounding where that factory used to be is gone.
Oh no, I heard that you could hear the blast from a 150-mile radius. That's fucking far as hell.
I repeat, do you know what nitrate does?
Bro, that shit was. I feel my condolences to the people that died in there and all the people that I feel sorry for y'all. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all, that was like the coolest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. I feel bad
Fuck.
saying this. I feel bad saying this because people
Wait.
lost their lives and it was off of the accident. But I'm not gonna. But I like I'm too. This is why I say I'm too honest for my own good. That was like the coolest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like I know it was scary, and I've been around like oxyacetylene bottles where like the wrong thing like it could kill me and all that other shit. And like I've been around like explosive equipment, so like I've been always extra careful.
Right.
But it's just like one of those things where it's just like I am sorry for the people that lost their lives, and because a lot of people did, but at the same time, I just looked at it. It's just like, yo, that is some epic ass shit. It's scary, but I thought it was like it's scary, and it even scared me. And like, but it was just the coolest thing I've ever seen. It just for some reason it was just cool to look at, and like watching like people's videos of it. It was just like a fucking movie, and like watching people and that shit. I don't know. It just took me back, and I could not keep my eyes off of it either. So it's just like one of those things where I'm sorry for everybody that like that shit is not funny, but that shit was fucking cool.
I
Anybody
would
else?
I would say that like I think what you said was I don't think there's an issue with what you said because I've always said destruction is beautiful. Like most of the things that destroy shit is actually really beautiful to look at. Like when the Notre Dame caught fire, bruh, the pictures that were coming off from that fucking shit, it was beautiful.
It
Shit.
was.
If you want to talk about beauty and destruction, that explains women. Shit.
I was
I,
surprised how you brought it back to the women, but okay,
I
I get
plead
it.
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
I'm gonna also plead the fifth, but I will say this: when they was doing the Minnesota riots, and then one building caught on fire, and
Oh,
whoever
that
took
shit
the
was
fucking
beautiful. That
oh
shit
my
was
god,
beautiful.
whoever took that picture was fucking beautiful. That was
I
like,
feel like I'm talking to a bunch of pyromaniacs.
no,
No,
it's not. It's just if you ever looked at the picture, I know I've showed it a couple of times. Like this shit is just like a lot of people were saying that, yo, this shit. Whoever took that fucking picture is like that shit is just like something you'll see in the history books or something like that. It was that great.
and also fire is just pretty to look at in general. Have you ever
Fire
stared at a
is
fireplace?
yeah.
I mean, I
I
like
swear
to.
I'm not a pyromaniac, but yeah,
I
fire is
I
pretty
like
to look
I
at.
like I like breaking and blowing up shit as much as the next person, but you know, given the context of the discussion, it's just like damn.
I know. That's what I say.
It's one of those left
I
field
know.
kind of things. I'm not even trying to knock you for what you said. It's just one of those that came from way left field, and it's just like damn.
I know. It's like I know. So it's like if I get cursed out for this and like dragged for this, I deserve the dragon. It's like I do. I 100% deserve
at,
to get
at,
dragged for that. But
at least you're willing to take your punishment like a man, and I respect you for that. if it comes to that.
Uh, Shannon Wolf, what you think about it? Did you see it? Shannon,
Um,
Shannon Wolf, you there?
Where is he?
Uh,
oh,
the
there it goes.
uh, the, the explosion in Beirut. Did you see that?
Nope. Sure did. Let me look it up.
You
I
haven't
shared
seen it.
I shared videos of that explosion of like different angles because it was a bunch of different people who like seen the explosion happen.
I
Like
felt bad
I
for the
shared that in
woman.
the group chat.
I felt bad for the woman that was taking her wedding pictures. Now that was sad.
Yo, that one
I
kind of
didn't
blew my
see
shit.
that. I didn't see that, but I saw it was one. It was one where someone was looking at it at. Okay, they saw the smoke coming from the place, so clearly a fire had started in the building. So they were recording as the place was smoking or whatever, and then the whole building just blew the fuck up. There was that. There was someone else. Again, they were out on the water, and you could see the smoke from the water. And when the building actually blew, the force from the explosion was so strong that it blew dude off the boat. He somehow saved his camera and was still able to, keep getting the footage, but it blew him clean off his boat.
Yo, I put it in Jesse. Look at it if it plays. Like this was like she looked so beautiful too. It was just like one of those things.
Yeah, bro. She was smiling and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's her wedding
It,
day. She was feeling herself, and then boom,
okay,
Damn.
here.
kaboom.
I feel this looks like some Call of Duty shit, but
Yeah, man. Call of Duty got it from somewhere. Art imitates life.
Yeah, especially that one mission where it was just like a big ass mushroom cloud. They try to fly away from it. That's when, and then you like they kind of like died in that aftermath of the because I think what was it, a nuclear bomb or something like that.
Yeah, it was a nuke.
Yeah,
That was the
that
that was
shit.
Modern Warfare. That was the first Modern Warfare.
Yeah, that was the first Modern Warfare. That shit was crazy. So,
oh no.
yeah, that shit. Like I said, that shit was fucking crazy.
Hey, yo, can I say something unrelated real quick?
Go ahead.
Shout out to Samsung because I got these earbuds and like, dog, you can hear all of that shit. The explosions sound lovely through these earbuds. So shout out
Now
to Samsung.
I don't feel as bad as I did before now.
You weren't supposed to.
This nigga plugged Samsung earbuds because of an explosion. I'm weak.
Paid advertising. Those are Bugs
Uh,
Plus.
I better get sponsored for Samsung. It's like now. Any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
Nope.
Oh shit.
All right. Then on that note, because I'm pretty sure none of y'all care about like sports being back on TV and all that other stuff. So, we gonna go to our final thoughts, and then we gonna start with Dion.
Where did where to begin? Okay, like I said before, for one, just if you know what's good for you, keep Beyonce's name out your mouth. I don't care what it's about. Keep Beyonce's name out your mouth. You don't want it with her fans. You don't want it with the Beehive. Just don't speak negative about Beyonce at all. For one. For two, in any way, shape, or form, just regardless of who's doing what to who, the violence ain't cool. Talking about that shit with Tahiri and Vado off of marriage boot camp or whatever. Just come on, we don't need that shit. And again, for those who lost loved ones in that Beirut explosion, you know, while while on one, I'm sorry if it seemed like we were making light of the situation, but it's a tragic thing, and our condolences goes out to all those people who lost someone, who were hurt in that explosion, possibly, you know, and hopefully that area recovers from that.
That's it.
Yep.
All right, Shining Wolf.
Keep your hands to yourself. Same thing my man said. Keep your hands to yourself. Nobody has to worry about any type of retaliation or any issues, really. Keep it verbal. If you can't agree, move on. That's it.
Short and sweet. Father.
Um, I would like to give a happy Independence Day to my Jamaican brethren. I would also like to give a happy Independence Day to my Ivory Coast brethren. You know what I'm saying? Black family, we have a lot to celebrate. Um, yeah, black people are cool. Black people are the wave, no matter where you're from, as long as you're not a coon. And another thing that I also want to say is fuck gamers. Yeah, fuck gamers.
Where did that come from? Wait a minute.
No,
What?
he's been saying that for the longest. As long as I know that he's been
Okay,
saying
but
games.
he said this several times, but there's always been a reason behind it each time. So now I'm
Nah,
like,
I'm
where did
just
this come from?
I'm just saying it just to say it. Fuck gamers.
Other has something to do with that Spider-Man shit.
Nah,
I was asking. It was funny. That was going to be my final thought. I don't know why Xbox fans or PC people are mad that Spider-Man is going to be exclusive to PS4. It's a Sony. It's a Sony. He belongs to Sony. So, which
He
I
don't.
expect.
No,
He doesn't. He's back to
he does
Marvel.
not. No, I mean, like, the character belongs to Marvel overall. The movies belong to Sony, and the that particular game that came out recently belongs to Sony because it was made by the team that made Ratchet and Clank,
Right.
and they own that team. So because that team made that game, that particular game belongs to Sony, but Spider-Man as a whole does not. Like, for example, Spider-Man's in Marvel Ultimate Alliance. He's in
Yeah.
Lego Marvel this, Lego Marvel that. He's in several different Marvel games that's not Sony related and is on multi-platform. It's just that one Spider-Man that belongs to Sony in the movies do.
Okay, so that's the Spider-Man they're using. Is that the Spider-Man they're using?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, because like I said, I don't have a problem with Sony doing that, but I think what Sony should do is the same thing they did with Namco did with Soul Calibur 2, where you had Link on the GameCube, Heihachi on the PS4, and Spawn on the Xbox. Now at least have Xbox like an exclusive character for them. That way they won't, they feel like they
Making
have
sure that
something.
no one's feeling left out,
Yeah,
basically.
I don't want to say Master Chief because I think that'd be corny and it probably
Shit.
won't even fit there. But what else is an Xbox exclusive except for like Fable and
Gears of War.
Well, actually, Xbox about to have Batman soon, but you can't put him on there though.
you can't put that. How the fuck did
They
Xbox get
bought
Batman?
they bought Warner Brothers. So next gen,
They
if you want to
did.
play, if you want to play Mortal Kombat, and
Ooh.
if you want to play Lord of the Rings, and if you want to play any
Hold
Batman,
on, wait. So you're telling me the next Mortal Kombat might be an Xbox exclusive?
yep. Next Injustice is going to be Xbox exclusive. Next Lord of
Stop
the Rings.
playing.
I'm
Stop
not.
playing.
Well, I can send you the articles, but I don't know if it's finalized. Like if it's like 100% factual yet. But that's what I'm saying here.
They can't do that. They can't do that. I've been avoiding Xbox like the plague, and now, come on, bro,
Well,
don't
not
do that
Mortal
to me.
Kombat, just Injustice. Not Mortal Kombat, just Injustice.
No. Anything.
I like the Injustice series, but
I do
come
too.
on, bro.
It's anything that's Warner Brothers games related. If it's Warner Brothers game, it's Xbox going to the next generation.
That's I mean, if that's exclusive to the Xbox, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Um, Injustice because Killer as great of a game Killer Instinct is, it's on the Xbox, and not a lot of people obviously picked up an Xbox One. Or
right.
like if you picked up an Xbox One, it's obviously for like shooters. You actually got it for shooters or NBA 2K and
Mm-hmm.
maybe Forza and maybe not
Think
really for fighting games.
the only games I would have ever like fucked with on Xbox is either Halo or Gears of War. And then I don't even like Halo like that. Gears of War was fun as fuck. But like I didn't fuck with Halo like that.
Well, the thing is, first person shooters ran Xbox 360, so that's why
Right.
I felt since like a lot of people don't really throw out first person shooters like that. Like the Xbox is, I don't want to say dying off, but a lot of their sales is not really that good. I know like they still get people that play 2K, but I still feel like a lot of I'm seeing more people on the PlayStation side than there is on the Xbox side, even with that.
They
So
really should have
it's
bought Xbox. Really should have bought out Sega. That's what they should have did, and kind of like mandated quality and mandated that they actually use their IPs like Kenobi and all those other things that have been missing for a long time.
I
I
mean they would
mean,
they, that showcase is like what is it? It looked like Knights, but it's not Knights.
Oh, what looks like Nice Lives Night?
You know that it was some game that was made by Sega and it was made by people that made the game Knights that was on the Sega Saturn, but it's not Knights or some shit like that. It was like a
Yeah,
platform.
like that. They got a
You
lot
know
of
what I'm
little.
talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
mm,
But other than
But
Fable, like because I watched the showcase, other than Fable and Halo, I ain't really get excited for a lot of shit.
right, right.
I
But
think
as
that's
far
the
as
thing about most gaming showcases now. They give you very little to be excited about.
yeah, this year is kind of dry as far as games is concerned.
Especially
I
that
mean,
fighting game roundtable. That fighting game roundtable kind of like disappointed me
Right.
because a lot of them was
they
just like I'm revealing shit, but not today, next week,
I
and I
mean,
was
they
pissed.
haven't been able to do like the big, like the E3 events and all the gaming reveals and this, that, and the third, like they wanted to because of the whole Corona situation.
I know. Well, they probably could have done it if, well, people stopped diddling little teenagers and fucking. If people didn't stop
I
diddling
mean,
teenagers,
that's a separate thing in of itself, I believe.
it killed Evo. Well,
But
that's because Mr. Wizard was one of the people.
I mean, let's be real. No. Corona killed Evo. The 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 sexual misconduct bullshit just kind of, that was just the not even nail on the coffin. That was the shovel that buried the coffin.
I wouldn't even really say that. I just thought it was a matter of time, honestly.
Yeah, this is.
Wait, what? Why
I've
do you
heard
say
some.
that?
No, because I've heard some shit. Anybody that's been in the gaming industry, I've heard some shit.
Nah. A lot of them motherfuckers, they all got like sexual misconduct shit and like touching minors and shit. You gotta understand, gaming. A lot of gamers and a lot of nerds in general, these are the undesirables. These are the outcasts. So of course they're gonna be on some shit like that.
you ain't wrong.
That's why when I used to be go to some of these conventions and I be seeing these really greasy looking old white men and then just like trying to like be around the fucking cute girls and shit. It's just been like real cringy and creepy.
Exactly. That's always the vibe I've got from like those super like popular cons and shit. Because a lot of those motherfuckers, like they like you gotta understand these motherfuckers ain't got no game, they don't get no pussy, none of that shit. So when they see an opportunity with somebody that's a bit younger than them or somebody that they can finesse, they gonna take it. That's why Smash Community was on that bullshit for a long time.
You gonna tell me that Senpai can't finesse a man?
No, she can't.
Mm.
I mean,
You got
okay,
all
all right. I'm gonna say this. No, I'm
and
gonna
what
say
you
this.
want.
I'm gonna say this. She probably could finesse a man, but but like the people that she was hanging with around the Smash community and shit, they were easy pickings. She didn't have
Right.
to use any type of fucking effort whatsoever.
Right.
Because like, I mean, if she went out in the streets, I don't like she could pull somebody, but she would probably have to use effort because she knows there'd be a whole bunch of women that would blow her out the water.
Oh
So
yeah.
the
Sure.
fact that she's in like an area where ain't no really cute girls like that, and on top of that,
Mhm.
she can do some cosplay shit and shit like that. Oh, them niggas love that shit. They'll throw themselves over for that type of shit. It was easy.
Yeah.
Sad but true. Sad but true.
I dare any gamer to tell me I'm lying.
But back to that Marvel joint real quick though. Like, I was actually about to buy that shit on Steam months ago, but I was like, I know how much tomfoolery these third party games, not third party, these multi-platform games be pulling off. So let me wait until the joint's about to be released. And I'm so fucking glad I did because I don't want no fucking Marvel game without Spider-Man in it. Like you
He
could
should
take
have
out
been put in
anybody.
there in the first place.
See, you said that you struck a nerve with me because I'm like, okay, what you just said about Spider-Man is kind of the reason I stayed away from Marvel versus Capcom Infinite.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, yes, Spider-Man was in that game, but what blew um, MVC Infinite for me, not one X-Men character,
Yeah,
not a one.
yep,
That
not
was
one.
on Marvel.
That was for
That
a
was
lot
on
of people
Marvel.
though.
You're telling
That was
me
mostly on Marvel
you're
though.
telling me with this whole versus series that started with X-Men versus Street Fighter.
X-Men
Now
took
with
it,
this,
and then
now now here we are. You're not even at least gonna give us Wolverine, my nigga. What?
not at least, yeah.
And
Bruh, okay, you
in
know how
every Marvel fighting game, Wolverine is my go-to.
Berserker Barrage.
So it's just like, oh, I don't spam that. I can actually fight with Wolverine. I don't spam that move. But
okay,
um,
you know how the turtles got their start, right? Like you know how the turtles got their cartoon, right? To sell toys. You know, all that shit is just a marketing ploy to sell toys, and the Avengers Endgame. I think Endgame was about to come out. Was it Endgame or the one before the Infinity War?
It was Infinity War.
Yeah,
it was
Infinity War
Infinity
was
War
the
hit right before, just a little bit before NBC Infinite dropped.
yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously. So they wanted people to go see Infinity War. So you're gonna put people in there that's regulated to the movie. So X-Men was not gonna be in there. So it was like I said, it was all Marvel. It was Capcom. Obviously, Capcom wanted to put their people in there because it's like what's it like you said? What's a crossover game without Wolverine, Storm, or Cyclops or somebody from the X-Men? We
Oh,
got
Storm is
nobody.
my baby.
Yeah, and it's just like what we get. What we get a lackluster roster with Rocket Raccoon and Black Widow and
Winter Soldier.
uh and Winter Soldier. Which
I
You know
did
what?
like it to put Black Panther in there, though.
He was in there. He was DLC.
And they put
he
No
was
one
Venom.
cares.
They put Venom back.
I was excited for him.
Other than Black Panther, and the only reason anyone even gave a fuck about Rocket Raccoon and Groot was for the simple fact that, okay, number one, Rocket Raccoon appeared in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and everyone loves Groot.
He is
I didn't
cool.
even like him in 3.
Yeah, I didn't like him in 3. I'd rather they went with Gamora. I didn't mind Gamora, even though I
Yeah,
didn't play
Gamora was
Gamora.
fine.
I mean,
Gamora was fine.
I like all the additions except for maybe they could have went without Winter Soldier in my opinion, but I like all the additions. But the fact that they took out so many characters was not good. Like they took out the fucking X-Men. They ain't doing it.
And some characters didn't need to come back. Like Frank West and Nemesis did not need to come back. Come on.
Right, right. And they promised fucking Fantastic Four, but never gave them. They could at least put the Super Scroll in there if they wasn't gonna put them in there.
Yeah,
No,
Super Scroll was
see,
cool.
Super Scroll was amazing, but in terms of the Fantastic Four themselves, my thing is okay. Restore the Fantastic Four to some form of prominence before you feature them in any type of video game.
I never want to see another Fantastic Four movie.
Well, they put him in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and it was pretty dope, especially Mr. Fantastic. He was kind of like a Luffy in that joint. Like he literally had a.
I mean, that's his
I
power.
never
He
want to see
stretches.
I
Mhm.
never want to see another Fantastic Four movie if I'm good. TV show,
They
yeah, I can deal with
butchered.
it.
Okay, here's my thing. The very first Fantastic Four movie they did was honestly, in my opinion, that one was actually good. They butchered Rise of the Silver Surfer, and the reason I feel like they butchered Rise of the Silver Surfer is because they butchered Galactus.
They butchered
Yeah,
how they
he was a
handled
fall.
Black. Yeah.
He
Had
was
they
Paul.
not butchered, had they not butchered Galactus, Rise of the Silver Surfer would have been a hit.
I
The
think
second Fantastic, the reboot they did with fucking Michael B. Jordan as a Human Torch or whatever, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. I don't know what the fuck Marvel was thinking when they gave the green light for that.
The Human
Let's make
Torch
a
is
black
black.
man speak up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Human Torch
The
is
Human
black.
Torch is black.
Yeah, he thinks
inclusion,
outside.
inclusion, inclusion.
Inclusion, baby.
that's what they were thinking. Yeah.
And then it's not
They were
it's
trying to make
not
it
even
like
about that. It's just you went so, if you know the source material behind the Fantastic Four, it's just you're so far. This was so far off. It was terrible.
No
Source
one cares.
material.
Gritty and
No one cares about the source material.
I cannot believe
I
you just brought up the
do.
source material.
No one cares
I
What
about the
movie?
source.
What
This is
movie
why
do you
I
know
Ariel
have been
is
do.
faithful to the
black
source material?
now.
What movie
This
do
is
you
why
know have
Ariel
been
is
faithful to the
black
source material?
now. The Little Mermaid is black now. No one cares about the source material.
Everyone.
movie
Okay.
that's the superhero is The Watchmen. That's one. That's the only one I can think of.
Watchmen was awesome.
I still need to watch that.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I still need. I can't wait for the boys to come back.
Oh,
I wanted to be September
Boys
4th
is
already.
pretty accurate too. That's a
Oh,
show.
it's
I
That's
got.
not a movie.
I gotta finish that first season. I only watched a couple
yo,
episodes.
finish the first season before I end up spoiling that shit. That shit is
Yeah, don't say
glorious.
nothing. Let me watch that shit, and then I'll get back to you next week. Don't say nothing about that shit, because I do have Amazon Prime.
Okay, because that's one of the best superhero shows I've seen on TV. Um,
I saw like
sorry,
the first two episodes of that bitch, and
sorry,
like I
Batwoman.
haven't been able to catch up on it.
Sorry, Batwoman. I'm sorry, Batwoman. Let me stop.
Batwoman's good, but that's another one. I need to finish that pilot season.
I don't even think it's worth finishing now. She ain't coming back.
It's not even the same character no more. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna replace her with but have them be the same character, just someone who's replaced with another woman.
Shit, I haven't. Shit, I still haven't watched. I haven't watched the last. Like, I need to finish them last seasons of Flash and Arrow and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't watched the whole Crisis on Infinite Earths event. I haven't seen that yet. I know at some point Green Arrow is supposed to die, and that's supposed to be the end of Arrow.
That nigga always
But
dying. You ever notice? He's like the first one to die. Is like, and he got like the same skill sets as Batman, but just with arrows. How
You
does he
want to know
always
what's
die?
pretty much,
You want to know what's funny about that? I feel like Hawkeye lived in almost every fucking Marvel movie just to spite Arrow.
see, and here's the thing: if you gotta, this is another one you gotta kind of know the source material. You gotta understand Hawkeye in the comics. Hawkeye lives through some shit in the comics. Hawkeye lives through some off the wall shit. It's just like, nigga, you should not be breathing.
Same thing with Batman. Batman, I don't know how the fuck you fight not Apocalypse, Darkseid and win. Like he's
Plot
beating
armor.
Darkseid.
No. See, Batman has
Everybody
two.
keeps saying that.
I've always
It's
said. I've always.
Batman.
Here's the thing I always said about Batman. Batman has two superpowers: white
White
privilege
privilege,
and plot armor.
white privilege, and plot armor.
Yes, those are Batman's superpowers: white privilege and plot armor. And I
Yo,
dare you to dispute me.
I can't knock that because the nigga because for someone like Superman to have trouble with Darkseid all the fucking time, Batman beat Darkseid.
Nah, you want to know what Batman's greatest superpower is? Time.
Prep time.
Give Batman the time to prepare for any battle, and I swear to God, he will whoop anybody.
Yeah.
He'll beat the fucking living tribunal.
But then, okay, hold up, Wallace. I'm gonna get at you about what you just said real quick. Okay, you give Batman time to prepare for whatever fight he's about to get into. What's he going to do? He's going to study his enemy. He's going to learn what they're capable of, what the weaknesses, whatever. He's going to come up with some form of device, some form of a machine, weapon, whatever the fuck. Mind you, okay, Batman doesn't kill, but he's going to find a way to disable the motherfucker, right?
Mhm.
Either way, the point is to come up with whatever device to neutralize whoever it is he's about to fight. At some point, he's going to need some form of money to bring this all into fruition. That's why I say one of his superpowers is white privilege. Because he has easy access to billions of dollars. And also, let's be real, the shit that Batman does, had it been a black dude, that shit wouldn't have got, Batman wouldn't be what he is if he were black. I'm
I
sorry.
disagree.
I don't give a fuck.
I
I don't give a
disagree.
fuck.
I disagree. And
No,
the reason why,
yeah,
the
no,
reason why I disagree,
If
no.
they
the
One of
knew,
the
reason why,
Batmans is black. One of the Batmans are black.
But do
I
you
think
know the
Lucas
story
Mark.
though?
I mean, one of his it's damn it,
Lucas
no,
Fox. I think.
but
This is
no, but the thing is,
not Lucius Fox himself.
It's his
Lucius
son.
Fox, I believe, had a son that that once he discovered that Lucius Fox was working for Batman, he wanted to, get in on the action.
Mhm. Yep, that's right.
I might. Oh, okay.
That's
Because I was starting to say I might be wrong, but my point is, had Batman himself been a nigga, oh no, the way he be beating up them criminals and shit, and the shit they be doing, oh no, he'd have been labeled as a madman. It's like, oh no, we got to bring him down.
He kind of is. Batman's not liked. To tell you the truth,
yeah,
he's
he's not.
tolerated.
until
He's
Batman
tolerated. He's
gets.
not liked.
Oh, okay, but I feel like if Batman were black, there would have been more of an emphasis to stop him from doing the shit that he does.
No, they want. The thing is, they want to. They really do.
But they
But it's
can't.
like they can't. That's the thing about Batman. He can't.
at a point though they decided to work with him because they couldn't take him down, and
And
they
then
guess what they need to do.
this is where I say his other superpower is plot armor.
Mhm.
Aside from Batman surviving the near impossible situations that he finds himself in,
With no
let's
power.
let's let, yeah, but let's be real. If we're being honest, there are times when Batman does get his ass kicked.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one woman put
Now,
a foot down on his ass, had his face on the ground with her foot on it.
Bane almost broke his fucking spine.
Nah,
But
he broke his
that's
back. He
another.
actually broke his back. That nigga
Yeah,
couldn't
he
move.
actually broke his back.
And a black guy stepped in for him too. I can't remember the guy's name. His name started with an A. He got a cross in his
Um,
chest, red hood.
I'm
He
gonna
got a
I'm gonna
hood.
look into that. I'm gonna look into that and get back to you on that. But my point is this. Okay, you mean to tell me, as many times as Batman himself has actually gotten fucked up, and he shed blood a couple of times. You mean somebody couldn't scoop up a blood sample and be like, wait a minute, this is Bruce Wayne's blood?
It's not part of the script.
Plot armor. There you
That's
go.
not
You
part
proved
of the
my point.
script. That's not plot
Plot
armor.
armor.
That's not part of the script.
No, nigga, that's plot armor. Shut up. Anyway.
Now, who got stronger? Now, who got stronger plot armor? Captain America or Batman?
Captain America.
Because ain't nobody out plot armoring Captain America.
That's no doubt.
I don't know. I don't know.
The nigga said Hail Hydra and people still loved him.
He said that for a reason, though. There was a point behind him doing that.
I know.
Don't do that to Captain.
He
Hold
was
up.
Hydra for a minute.
Hold up. I gotta stand up for my fellow Brooklynite. You're not gonna disrespect Captain America.
I'm a big fan of Captain America. What are you talking about?
Cap is from Brooklyn, and I'm from Brooklyn. So if you disrespect Captain America, I take that personally.
Captain America is one of my favorite superheroes. I keep telling you.
I'm just glad we can all establish that Captain America's plot armor is stronger than Batman's.
Yeah,
they're about the same. You know, I will give you this. Captain America does get away with some bullshit. Between him and Batman, they're about equal. I want to say they're equal.
Captain America actually has powers, though. Like, he does have super strength, super speed, and stuff like that.
Captain America's only real power is like his, abnormal strength or whatever.
Yeah, normal strength and sense.
Hey, let's not forget white privilege. That's a nigga that fought in World War II. That nigga got. I'm telling you, that's white privilege right there. That man's.
I mean, I don't. Okay, how do Captain America fighting in World War II and white privilege correlate? I need an explanation.
What do you mean? You saw how they treated black soldiers there.
Yeah. Okay. They treated us like shit. They treated black folk like shit when they fought in the Civil War and when they fought in World War One. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. White privilege.
Exactly.
You know what? I get it, and I'm gonna give you that one. I'm gonna give that to you. I'm gonna shut up. I get it now, and I'm gonna shut up.
Okay.
I still rate Batman and Captain America equal in terms of the plot armor.
Unfortunately, Batman can kill
I'll give Captain America a slight edge on the white privilege thing. I'll give Captain America the slight edge just for the simple fact of Captain America literally came from nothing while Bruce Wayne was born into a rich family. So I'll give Captain America the slight edge on the white privilege.
Yeah, but Bruce Wayne, he always admits it. He says, I'm a rich kid with issues. Lots of issues.
Yeah.
It's my favorite quote from Batman. I'm a rich
kid. I remember that episode of Justice League Unlimited. That's the episode when Wonder Woman got turned to a pig.
Yeah.
Poor Wonder Woman.
Oh, man. That's it. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and end it because I just seen an Instagram video talking about how Simpsons predicted the Beirut explosion. Makes sense.
Lord!
Oh God! Share that, please.
I'll share it to you when I get the chance.
Oh my God!
On that note, we're going to end it. I'd like to thank the panel for joining in on this podcast again. I would like to thank y'all for listening and hear us talk our shit again. This is You Know What? Let me just say podcast, and we signing out. Peace.
Adios and good night.
Good night, everybody.
All right. Dion, I'll send it to you in the chat.
Yeah.
All right.